Nice. Hello. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with green, white, black Maverick. The same as last stream, with a few little changes to the main deck and sideboard. There might actually not be any changes to the sideboard. We'll see how that goes. Force of Vigor is the card that I wanted to play. We went 3-2 last round, or last league, going down to Painter. And also going down to, I believe, a Storm deck. But I do like Force right now with just the ability to tap out and then also have interaction against some decks. We've been running into a few lands decks as well, where Force of Vigor is pretty good. You can snag a Mox Diamond and Sylvan Library, maybe an Exploration. So I want to try Force out a little bit more over the Night of Autumn in the sideboard, which of course is pretty nice because you can Greens Hunt for it, you can Fiend Hunter for it. It's also pressure, but I think that we already have a lot of that, especially with the Black Splash with Abrupt Decay. So I think what we don't have is the ability to interact effectively on turn 1, 2, 3 against some of the decks where we might want to cast a 1-drop or a 2-drop and then also just hold up Force in hand in case my opponent does go for a win. So we'll see how that goes. I still like the Deafening Silence and Chalices. Surgical and Soul Guide seems fine. I've also brought in a Gaea, which is kind of graveyard hate, which should be pretty fun. Hey, Cat Gamer, very cool. Hope you're well. Hopefully we do okay for your first time on stream. That'd be pretty cool to do better than a 3-2. So yeah, nothing else really to say. I said a lot of it in the last league. I was really happy with Renegade Rallier and how it goes with Fiend Hunter. Sylvan Safekeeper was a really nice Mum number 4. Hurriet's really nice. Is a Thalia number 3. So we'll go. Yeah, you won't promise the 5-drop. The more I see the 5-drop, the more I'm just less impressed with the 5-drop. Unfortunately, the 5-drop being the 6/6 from the core set, which has Vigilance, Reach, and trample, I'm gonna say, and then I believe when you either attack or block, you get a 3/3. You can draw a card, you can gain 3 life. I think they're the 3 options. I don't think there's a 4th. It could be. I could have got that wrong, but unfortunately, it doesn't do anything when it comes into play, and that's the really annoying part. So, yeah, it's just touch. Yeah, sadly got to Highlander a little bit too slow on Sunday through our Jimbo's stream, but big credit to him. He's doing really well, and some of the content coming out of his channel is really cool. Let's get straight into a league and we'll see how we go. This should be a pretty fun league. It'll be interesting to see how many new cards we actually run into. I know that Snoop is a lot of the rage right now. But there's a few other cards that do seem pretty cool. But we'll see how they go. I know that some people are trying out the new... There's a card that some Storm players are playing. I wish I knew the names of them. I should have really looked at this beforehand, but... already have a match, which is really nice. I'm not playing against Mozzaball. Okay. I feel like we played against Mozzaball before. His hand is fine. Turn 1 interaction in Swords. Thalia and Collector Ouphe can be really good. Questing Beast is kind of nice. If we do just draw 1 more land over the next 3 turns, we have a turn 4 Questing Beast, so... I don't think I'm going to put back this hand, so I'm going to keep it. Collector Ouphe could be dead in this matchup. You never know. But Thalia usually at least has some sort of application in most game 1s. Island. Honda. Okay. Snow-covered island as well. No companion. Interesting. Yeah, I believe the new... people are definitely trying out that new draw card. It's a 2-drop in Chartless. Dryad's not really what I want to draw. Pretty happy just to go for Jewels here. Probably Savannah and Bayou. Alright. See the Truth. Jack, thank you very much. I wonder if it works yet. If we can go... See the Truth. Nice. Reveal the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest in the graveyard. That's not it. That's See the Unwritten. Haha. The bot isn't updated yet. Interesting. Birds. We'll definitely attack first. I think the play is probably just to play Bird. And then hold up Swords. This gives us enough mana to cast Questing Beast next turn. Interesting. Ice Fang. That's going to be fine. I don't think I want to Swords this now. I think I'm happy just untapping. So this could still be something like Blue-Green Omni, but I'm going to assume it's maybe a Snowko deck. Looks like Snowko. Uro, okay, well at least we have the Swords for this, which is nice. We don't have another way to really deal with it, so I'm going to just Swords it here. Swordsing it now also means they can't put in a land and then pay the 1 for Thalia or Force of Will. So I think now is just the best time to Swords. Fetching as well. Interesting. Knight. I think here artists like Questing Beast. It is interesting though, because next turn they can cast Oko with 6 cards in hand, which they most likely have. But I think I'd rather get the Questing Beast in now than go for the Knight. Yeah. It's actually, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I guess the only reason that I wouldn't go... If I play the Knight this turn, and the next turn they tick up to 5 on Oko, I do potentially have the line of untapping, drawing a Noble Hierarch, casting Questing Beast, and then swinging with Exalted for 5 at the Oko, which can't be blocked by the Ice Fang. I think the Questing Beast I just have a little bit more of an itch for. This is an interesting one. I'm actually going to take a little snip. The quest. Hey D5, thank you very much for the sub. That is very nice. A huge thank you once again. 3 months. 3 months is very cool. I hope you're well. It's a tough one. We're definitely playing the Dryad Arbor. Because of the basics, I'm just gonna go for the Questing Beast here, and then I can attack for 6 this turn. I think I have to be pretty aggressive. Deluge for 4. Ouch. Okay. Deluge pretty good. Oof. Library. This is interesting. I think I'd rather Library this turn. Can't be interacted by Oko, which is nice. And if they want to Abrupt Decay it, I guess they can use the Astrolabe on the 3rd island to still cast Oko. White. Teferi bounce. Ugh. This is looking pretty bad. Wasteland. Interesting. Do I rather have the Wasteland for me? Because I can go Library into Ouphe isn't the worst. They aren't really, like, it doesn't really stop them from their mana considerations, but maybe that's better than just... At least this means it puts pressure on the Teferi. Yeah, Swords on Uro never feels great, but any sort of Uro doesn't feel great. I guess if we have like Scavenging Ooze or an ability to get Scavenging Ooze, it's not too bad. Probably the best way we have to deal with it, but this game's looking pretty rough. Our opponent has 6 cards in hand, Teferi in play. It may just be looking at games 2. Oh, red. Interesting. Dak. Okay. Huh. It's more like a 4-color pile. So, kind of like a Styfro pile. But no... Maybe no Grove package. I wonder if the splash is just for like Dax and Blasts in the sideboard. We can just 6 here. But yeah, tough matchup. Snow is obviously very good in the mid to late game, where Maverick usually tries to shine. But here, it's not going to do too much. Huh. They might lose the Teferi here, which is kind of nice. Unless they have Fatal Push. That'd be really rough. Here I'm pretty happy just to pay for all of this. Attack Teferi. Nice. Gonna take out the Bayou. I should have done this in end of They don't float, but I should have done that at the end of combat. But this is interesting. Do I want to go with Safekeeper or Knight? I kind of like Safekeeper here. I'm going to sack the Blast Zone. So I have a few options. I can play Knight and tap out. I can play Wasteland their Badlands, and pretty much tap out. I could also take up Blast Zone, or Blast Zone away their Astrolabes if they try to destroy the Ouphe. I think if I'm trying to win the game, then I want to just be going for the Knight. Stealing out other Astrolabes with Dak would be pretty sweet. Especially if you steal... if you can steal an Astrolabe and then like defeat them with their own Astrolabe. I don't know of a worse feeling. That'd be pretty close to yeah, to the worst. But yeah, interesting deck. Very cool to see. But the one thing that I can't stand as a massive fan of Wasteland is just this 4-color deck working off basics so well. So now they have access to white. Stolen an alt-ready Jace. Blue first. 2 blue. Snapcaster. Deluge again? Are they going to Deluge for 7? Okay. Interesting. If I knew this was a line, they're going to Deluge for 8. Interesting. They thought I might have a way to pump the Knight. Obviously we don't, but that's pretty funny. They're at 5? Okay. See what we can do here. I'm gonna keep the sword. I'm gonna put the Hierarch on top. So now I can destroy the Astrolabes. I don't think this Wasteland is doing anything better than just hitting this Tundra right now. They want to float white, that's fine. We'll change phase. Go with Safekeeper. Go with Mum. Yeah, it's 5-color. I didn't realize that, of course. Interesting. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, there's definitely consideration to keep the Wasteland for Sylvan Safekeeper. Especially now that Collector Ouphe is gone. Flooded Strand. Leevold's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Go down to 4. Okay. Okay. Well, we still have a line to win. Ah, interesting. I think we just take this. Because now we get to give Pro Blue and swing. I guess with the Oko it's really rough because they can just start making food and gaining life. Sadly, don't think this is a winnable position, but we can definitely try. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'd rather save the time than try to win here. It's just so because we can swing for 2 at them, and then they untap, they tick up Oko, make a food, and then we just can't keep up with the 3 life that they're gaining, and they're just going to be swinging at us. So, unfortunately, a loss. Sideboarding is going to be interesting. I don't mind the extra Plague because it does deal with Ice Fang, and it means they have to spend a card to deal with it, or at least make it a 3/3. Kai is pretty nice because they do use their graveyard as well, and it's a little bit harder to get rid of than, say, a creature. Shifting Ceratop seems pretty great. Yeah, that's fair enough. I only had enough time. I think I was just wasting time there, unfortunately. Swords doesn't seem great. I'm going to take out the swords because we do have 2 decays and then also the plagues. I still like both 4-drops. Chalice is interesting, but they do have Oko. I guess I don't mind it on the play because there's not too many 1-drops that I actually care about. I could see myself dropping a Mum, seeing they do have some number of sweepers. Prelate on 3 I think is going to be pretty good here. Screw seems great. Collector Ouphe. Vraska's pretty good. It's just to make a case of trying to make things better. Maybe like Qasali Pridemage is just not what we want. Just the 1-for-1 effect. Most artifacts and enchantments that we want to hit, Abrupt Decay can hit anyway. I don't mind dropping a Knight, especially seeing their mana base. And their creature threats. Like when they have Snapcasters and Ice Fangs and a pretty non-wastelandable deck, I don't mind taking out the Knight. Just to lower my curve a little bit. 1 Thalia perhaps, but on the draw it's not too bad with Astrolabe especially around. I don't mind cutting out some number of mana dorks because of their sweepers as well, so that seems pretty good. I don't like Surgical for decks like this because I think if I'm trying to Surgical an Uro, it's pretty tough because I'm going down a card. They're probably not going down a card. They're already going up a card from Uro, so it kind of makes Uro a little bit worse. I do like that we have Screws around to deal with it. Soulguard Lantern's interesting, but I think as well I can just try to keep them off the graveyard. It's pretty rough as well because Swords is just so good against Uro that I kind of want one, but I might even go down on a land here. I can definitely go down on a Wasteland. Blast Zone is interesting. I think Soulguard's okay. It's not really the turn 1 play that I want, but at least I can exile their graveyard if needed, and then I can also just change it into a spell or land hopefully in the mid to late game if I need. So I'm going to see how this goes. This seems pretty cool. I would love to play first. I don't really want to keep a 1-lander. I'm definitely going to lose the game if I just keep a 1-lander and don't draw a land even next turn, so I'm going to mulligan this. Rishton Port's pretty sweet. I've played it a fair amount. I played it as a 1-of over the 4th Wasteland for a bit because it did give me some outs to manipulating my opponent's mana base, which is cool. The issue was that leaving mana up for it sometimes felt pretty bad. Yeah, that's very true, it's all. I don't mind keeping this and just going turn 1 Safekeeper into Gaea. I could also Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, but I would have to top deck a 2nd mana source because I can't go Forest, Dryad Arbor. I probably don't even want to do that because I have Forest. I'm going to keep this and drop the Questing Beast. But this is an interesting one. I'm not too sure what I want to use this Verdant for yet. I guess I could use it on a Scrubland. I don't really see a... Yeah, I think I like you just turn 1 Safekeeper. I could go for Dryad Arbor, but that isn't a way to cast the Gaea. Unless I draw exactly into a fetch land or dual land the following turn. Fiend Artisan, interesting. We're gonna fetch for a Scrubland, and then I'm gonna Green Suns for a Dork. Probably a bird, just because it breaks up the creature base, so Plague Engineer doesn't hit us if we get Noble Hierarch. I don't think my opponent would want to counter this. Interesting if they do. Okay. I guess it is one green suns they don't have to waste, they don't have to worry about later down the line. Liliana's Triumph. Okay. That's fine. Can we get Kyra online? Mum. Mum's not the worst. We can go Mum Fiend Artisan. Yeah, I can now see if they want to counter the Green Suns, it's because they didn't want us to have another creature to actually play around the Liliana's Triumph. Plague Engineer. That's not too bad. A little bit annoying, but not the worst. Definitely attacking. Trade's fine. I wonder if I want to go for Skoos or somehow... Collector Ouphe is actually pretty nice because it turns off black, which might be relevant. I mean, it turns them off black, red, and white right now, so I don't mind Ouphe. They're playing Blood Moon? Rough. Is this deck trying to tilt me? That's pretty rough. I guess I should have expected it. Like, we've definitely seen this before, so. Birds. Well, maybe off the Shifting Ceratops next turn we can get there. I guess maybe I should have played around Icefang Quaddle there. Maybe an attack wasn't what I was supposed to do. The new elf, we don't. The new elf is interesting. I'm not sure if it's something that Maverick wants. I can definitely see it in elves, but... yeah, just a lot of the time it's just going to be a 1/1 for 1, which isn't that great, but... So they have up red and green. Canopy. Alright, well now we can play Ceratops and give it haste. Yeah, that's going to concede. Okay, that's pretty lucky. Hey Sato, welcome. Sorry, I didn't say hello before. Hope you're doing well. Congrats on your finish and on all the Brazilian players from the last challenge. Did really well. I wonder if that changes things. Kind of makes me want to play a Force. Because, I mean, Force is... the one reason I brought Force is because we lost to Blood Moon against Painter. I don't think it's... I don't mind the 1. Especially if they're playing Sylvan Library as well. I would like a way to deal with it outside of just... I guess Decay kind of covers us as well, but... this deck actually struggles a little bit to find the black mana at times, so... they're playing Triumph, which is interesting. Yeah, I do like taking Chalice out on the draw, and I think maybe, yeah, the Pridemage can come back. Yeah, thankfully got the new shirt sent to me today, which is very nice. The old one actually had this part at the bottom of the shirt, which was very funny. But yeah, very cool to have it on. Actually feels really good. You can actually buy them as well. You can find out more information in the bottom. But I do have one more card to bring in. I don't think it's the second force. I don't really want two forces in my hand. It might just be the Knight. Especially seeing Blood Moon Knight can give me some outs to turn a forest into a plains if needed. So I don't mind that. But actually, I actually don't mind the extra sword as well because we did see the Plague Engineer. So I do want to make sure that we have removal for that as soon as possible. I think... this is 61 baht. Okay. Well then... I'm going to take out a Thalia on the draw. I think that's fair. I think because we bring in a fair amount of non-creature hate as well, non-creature spells, that, especially seeing Plague Engineer as well, I don't want to have, you know, a body of just X1 humans. This is an interesting one. On the draw, but I just don't, I'm not a big fan of keeping one landers against this sort of deck where it is going to go long. Even though that gives us more outs as we progress through the game, I think we're just going to lose the early game here and just not be able to make it into the mid game, which is pretty rough. Yeah. Okay, this is fair. I'll keep this. I pull one back. I think it's the Pridemage. The Decay kind of does everything. It could actually just be the second Mum. I don't think second Mum lines up here too well. So it is going to be second Mum. Yeah, especially if they don't get their Astrolabes down early, then Thalia is just pretty taxing. It even, yeah, attacking through Icewind Quaddle is really nice. Another Decay, interesting. Huh. I guess I don't mind Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. And then next turn, Mum. I could also just hold up to K the following turn. I think building up my mana is fine, so that means I want to go for a Bayou here. Yeah, I like this because if I go turn 1 Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, next turn I can play Mum and then also just hold up Dryad Decay. Yeah, luckily didn't even have to attack with the Ceratops, it kind of just got there, which is nice. If they play another basics island, I'm a little bit intrigued if I should Abrupt Decay the Astrolabe. They're going to Brainstorm. Most likely they have a fetch, but this could be some sort of pretty drastic look for an extra land. Ooh, okay, they're Brainstorm locked. Okay, that makes me want to get going. Probably just go Pridemage here, attack for 2. I think I'm not in a rush to actually destroy the Astrolabe here, because blue is what they need to dig anyway. So I'd rather use it to build up my board and start applying pressure. So they missed another land drop here, right? Unless they have a Ponder or another Brainstorm to dig 1 deeper. Opponent having a pretty good think. Ooh, there's Beast. Okay, then maybe my turn is actually just to go... Prowling Shepherd's interesting. I think it's rough just because it's a 3-drop as well. So I don't mind Soul Guide here. But I think I just want to keep applying pressure, which is pretty tough right now. I like Soul Guide because I can try to turn it into another land for Questing Beast the following turn. So we'll definitely play Mum. And then probably just Soul Guide and then cycle it. Gonna exile their Bolt. Yeah, I think I rather try to draw a card here than put in the extra 1 damage. Another removal would be pretty awkward. I guess they could also have Swords to Plowshares. Brainstorm, okay. Alright. Swords on the Dryad Arbor, interesting. What does that mean? I'm gonna play the Verdant because if they Blood Moon me, I can at least go for a Forest. Afraid of Ceratops, yeah. I don't mind just trying to hit their mana here. Even though this puts me down a card, I think just trying to keep them on basics here is okay. And we do have a spare Decay if needed. I guess the problem is if they go Blood Moon here. We do get to fetch for a basic, but really only means we have Green Suns as an out. Astro is fine. All right. I don't want to draw a basic forest, so I'm going to fetch here. Okay. So now we can go for basic plains. And we can still cast this beast. Okay. It's a good start. No edict. How many basics are we on? We're on 2 forest and 1 plains. I have seen lists that only run 1 and 1, which I'm not too sad to see. Plague Engineer, interesting. What does that mean? Do I want to give pro? Don't I want to give pro? I mean, if they have anything, they can just do it in my upkeep anyway. There's no reason to give pro here. Okay. Yeah, they can just do it in response to the mum as well. Swords, wow. Alright. The big issue is that we don't I guess we do have an out in Force of Vigor to Blood Moon, but otherwise the Decay is just turned off. I could swords now. I think if they Oko here, I want to keep up the swords for Oko because we have the Decay for the Plague Engineer, which is still a fine removal spell. But I want to try to draw out as much information as possible before I have to swords, because I'm not in too much of a rush to swords, which is nice. I think what I'm really doing is showing that I have Mana Tithe, and they should be afraid of Mana Tithe. Snap. Snap swords, really? The issue is that our opponent stumbled, and then we just didn't have the pressure to do it, to actually apply pressure. So I'm probably definitely swordsing here. If I draw into an X1 human, I want to cast it, so I'm just going to use my mana effectively. Okay, well there it is. Just not the creature that I wanted. We do have some pretty good draws though. Oko's pretty good. I'm gonna create a food, interesting. And not even attacking. If they had Veil that turn, I would have been pretty upset. Oh, that's a cool card. Okay. But what's the play? It might just be tick up. Maybe sack the plains? I could take care of the Snapcaster Mage, but then removal and a food token destroys it, which is pretty rough. Yeah, I don't mind sacking a Jewel. I guess we still have Prelate, so I kind of want double white, but at the same time I don't care because we have the Noble Hierarch. I'm going to go after this. Yeah, I'm going to go after the Scrubland. Canopy, okay. Fetch. Wonder if they have an edict here to try to start applying pressure. An Ice Fang? Okay, just a pass. We're at 5 minutes as well, so we definitely have to really start applying some quick pressure. The amount of times Shifting Ceratops has been hit by Swords to Plowshares or Bolt, Dreadhorde, Bolt, I really would just want to play Thrun and see how Thrun goes in the current meta. It just does so much. It does get blocked by things like Icefang Quaddle, which is a little bit rough because Shifting Ceratops and Questing Beast don't. But this is fine. I can still draw a card in their turn. No blocks. I'm just going to draw a card here and then just 6 to save some time. Knight's pretty cool. Windswept. Right, let's play this. Let's play Knight. I could destroy the Leo here, but I think I'm happy just ticking up. Probably getting rid of the basic forest because we already have the Windswept. Ah, Vraska. Haha, classic. I didn't think of Leo. That's classic. I think that's okay. Little punt. Yeah, just a little punt, unfortunately. Story, thank you. Jack, thank you. Dark Cloud, thank you. That's rough. I just love that because like I knew it was on the field because we even talked about it with Horizon Canopy, and then you just untap and do it anyway. Like you just have this like tunnel vision that everything's fine and actually everything isn't fine. Rough. I guess we're getting close to an ulti, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I think I did say that. We could, yeah, deal with the Leo, but oops. What did she say? Everything is fine, but everything isn't fine. Yeah. Rough. And it would have just been because we went from 4, so it still would have been around at 1, and we would have had 2 blockers anyway, so tough. Opponent having a good think though. They have 4 cards. It's just an issue though, but because although I have a great knight that can attack, Ice Fang Quadle is just such a threat that I really have to make sure I can do something to play around it. I think we've only gone through 1 plow. Abrupt Decay, no 1 plow. Yeah. And then from them, they had 1 plow, but they flushed it back, and then they have another plow. And bolt. Strix with flash is really good. Interesting. Attack with both. I think this probably means a deluge. Huh. Who are they attacking? Maybe I don't block here. Vraska, okay. Maybe I block the Leo. They could have Bolt. They could also have a... This definitely looks like an attack that is just... It could be an Edict, but I'm going to play around the Edict. I'm going to play into the Deluge. Because Dryad Arbor is gone, so we can't fetch for it. But Toxie Deluge is going to be fine. They have to Deluge for 9? They go down to 3? Yeah. I don't think I fetch either. I think this is just fine. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's fetch. Let's get Savannah. Black, blue this. Vrask, Gaea. I'm gonna exile the Astrolabe. Takes them off white and red. And then I'm gonna tick this up and get rid of the snow-covered forest. Play Cradle. I'll play that. Okay. At least it can be something that I sack next turn. They have 4 cards. Brainstorm's fine. Vraska can tick up and sack nothing. That's yes. But then we don't gain a life and draw a card. And I think there's probably a better card in this deck than Plains. And right now there probably is a better card than Cradle. Okay. Oh. That was a thought that maybe I should... Oh, Trophy. Interesting. Well, now we pretty much get nothing. I was going to deal with the food, but I just didn't think of that. They would have the Oko, but they did. Yeah, this is tough. We have 3 minutes. We might as well see how this game goes, but it's looking pretty rough right now. Maybe there's a chance. Snap Brainstorm's gonna be okay. Yeah, exactly. Especially for this greed decks. I just feel like right now, yeah, Jace is pretty sweet. Maverick just doesn't have the tools to compete with the value. Like, so many of their cards are just 2-for-1s, so you're going to run out of creatures or removal or sort of any interaction before your opponent does. GG's, my friend. Oh, I can't chat now. All good. But yeah, Snow's pretty rough. I think we need to definitely dedicate some amount of hate for it, but it's just so hard to hate out. Like, even, you know, you think against a 5-color deck, Blood Moon would be good, but they brought it in against us, which is pretty rough. It nearly got us as well. It was pretty close to shutting us down, but luckily we drew into birds and then shifting Ceratops. But yeah, just a little bit too slow. I think if those sort of decks do increase and things like Toxic Deluge and Dead of Winter do also see an increase, then maybe there's a list where I go back to Ancient Tomb over Gaia's Cradle, just because you don't really have too many matchups where you're able to go wide or you get punished by doing so. Yeah, Astrolabe's pretty rough. I definitely don't enjoy it, but this hand is pretty sweet. I'll keep this hand. Has some nice interaction, has some mana acceleration, and then Thali is pretty good. Not too sure what Jax is on, but I feel like we've played before. We'll keep this. Swamp. Ugh. Pedal, yep. Maybe this is Reanimator. Is it worth? I think it's worth playing this through. Interesting that they played the Lotus. Maybe they're doing something in their end step. I'm just going to go for Forest into Noble here. Duress. Okay. That's interesting. Take Sword of Decay. At least we keep Thalia for now. Yeah, Astrolabe's rough. It, yeah. It's rough. I'm definitely not, like, calling for a ban, but I do like the meta without it. Especially the redraw. The redraw is the toughest part. Like, fair enough that you want to play an artifact that fixes your mana, but the draw off it is just so good. Interesting. I'm going to see what that Preordain did. One top, one bottom. Okay. I'm going to go for Heath, because I probably just want to get Dryad Arbor to start attacking as well. If this Thalia doesn't resolve. I assume it does. Yeah, not too much. I don't think there's anyone who's all for Astrolabe being in Legacy with an argument. I think it's more that the players that do enjoy it are the players that are playing it and really enjoying it. But I'm sure there's, you know, players who also play it that just see that it is quite brutal. I think I will just go for Dryad Arbor here, because I don't really want to draw it either. There's no point attacking with both because of Exalted, but see what happens. Ouphe. Ouphe could be a really good card here. Attack first. I'm gonna play the Wasteland, just in case they screw up a little bit with like a Brainstorm where they play the fetch land first. I think that Wasteland doesn't have too much application here, so at least I can maybe hit a Wasteland, or Wasteland a fetch land in response to like a Brainstorm. Just to stop them from getting the shuffle effect. This also means I can just start attacking for 5 next turn as well. Hey Mozza, no, that's more than welcome. We I think the issue was that you stumbled in game 3, but we didn't have the hand with enough pressure to actually like use that to our advantage. But cool games, very cool deck. I hate Astrolabe, but yeah, very cool to see like the power of what it can actually do when you're looking at your basics. Infernal Tutor. Okay, so this must be Ant? Going for a Cabal, interesting. Cradle, doesn't do a whole lot here. Probably just go with Cradle here. Get ready to be Peered. Yeah, Peered would be cool, to be fair. Petal's fine. Is that just for Storm count? Must be. Huh. I've seen it a few times in a few tweets. I wonder if this deck actually has a main deck way to deal with the Ouphe or not. Because it's interesting that they played out the Lotus, especially when they're not getting close to just discarding. 2, 4, 6. And maybe discarding is actually better because of Cabal Ritual that they just Infernal Tutored for. So that makes me think that they do have an answer to the Ouphe. Especially when you're not using the Storm count, you're just casting this and passing. So you probably want to turn on the Cabal as much as possible, especially if there's a scenario where I draw into Scavenging Ooze and don't have the Cradle, and maybe I just don't have enough green to actually turn it off. All right, I think the C is like it's go time because they probably held this for a while because of the Wasteland. So I assume this is the turn they're going to try to go off. All right, that is going to resolve. They could have Chain of Vapor in the main deck. That's probably the one card that I could see in the main deck because you can use it to your effect. Mastermind's Acquisition. Interesting. Choose a card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Okay. So we don't have a Plains in play, so it can't be Massacre. It could be Grape Shot. It could just be a literal bounce effect. But this is going to be fine. I might as well untap and see what we draw into. Questing Beast would be sweet. or Shifting Ceratops, or Green Suns. So we do have a few ones. We do have a few cards here. Knight. Okay, Knight's not that great. What do we want to do? We're definitely attacking for 5. Puts them down to 2. Yeah, Knight's definitely the best. So I can definitely Wasteland. Happy for that. Play the Windswept. I won't go and get a forest just yet. Oh, actually, Knight's pretty good because there might be a line where I can Swords my own Knight to stay alive from like a Tendrils. So then I can hold the Wasteland up to Wasteland myself. Yeah, it's pretty tough because at least if they, so the Knight would be a 4/4, it would be a 5/5 with the Windswept Teeth, it would be a 6/6, so they have to storm off for 13 with 4 cards in hand, which is pretty rough, especially when I assume 1 card in their hand is going to be a removal spell, so they really have 3 cards to go off with, which is pretty tough. I mean, maybe like double LED Infernal Tutor could do it, because then you could ritual back. One is Cabal Ritual, so yeah, it's interesting. Storm. Chalice is nice. Deafening Silence is nice. We can definitely take out the 4 swords. This is the maybe pile. Swords is definitely going out. Engineer's nice. I don't mind the second engineer because it isn't out to empty, which we do see a few times. I like the Sylvan Safekeeper and the Mum package because it allows us to keep our bears on board. Renegade Rallier can most likely come out. Decays can come out. Qasali is interesting. I don't mind the Beast because it is just really fast pressure. Blast Zone can come out. Dying to empty does feel bad. Soul Guide Lantern is interesting. I don't mind it because it is Graveyard Hate. It does really well against Past in Flame Lightens. The question is what I want extra. Force of Vigor is interesting. So you wouldn't think Force of Vigor does well against a Storm deck that runs Petal effects. But when they know that we're playing Thalia, they might play out Petal effects early on. And we might be able to actually nab them before they actually become useful to our opponent. I don't think that's a winning strategy, but it's definitely something to think about. It might just be Surgical. Surgical is just so much better than when we have Hand Disruption. Otherwise, it's a little lackluster. Kai is also super interesting because it does also hit Petals, which they sometimes play out early on. And it can also just keep their graveyard at bay. Ulti is actually not too far off as well, which is kind of funny. But I think we just have 1 in the deck, so I'm pretty happy just to leave 1 in. 1 more card. Maybe it is just a Surgical. Just have some sort of early hate. Yeah. Game 1 win against combo feels really good. Yeah. Especially for this deck. We were on the play though, so I will... Oh, actually, we were on the draw. Were we? Yeah, we were on the draw in that game, which is pretty nice. This hand is pretty good. Chalice for 0 is really nice. Turn 1 Bird. And then turn 2 we can play Thalia, or if we draw a land, we can go and get... We can get Collector Ouphe, but it's not the greatest if this Chalice resolves. I'm definitely keeping it. The slight advantage as well is that if they do play Massacre, which I know a lot of decks are off, the Horizon Canopy is a white source that isn't a Plains, which is pretty huge. Thoughtseize. Okay. I'm going to assume it's the Chalice here. It could be the Thalia, but the Chalice is definitely coming down next turn, and we have multiple Thalias in the deck. Yeah, D&T is rough because it has that really nice like 2 mana slot of hate, like Rest in Peace, Canonist, Thalia, like Chalice for 1. But in the like early games, especially on the draw, you just like let me get to 2 mana. let me get there. Take the Chalice, okay. Windswept Teeth. That's nice. I'm gonna hide this for now. I don't want to play the Windswept Heath because it is unknown information, which, you know, my opponent could think, hey, maybe they're on Mindbreak Trap. Maybe they have Surgical. Maybe they, you know, have something else. Maybe I have to, like, Thoughtseize again. Preordain, okay. Interesting. We'll see what they actually did. I assume they drew a card with the Ponder, and maybe they bottomed 2 with this Preordain. Chose to shuffle. Okay, so they get a fresh look. 2 cards on top. Okay, that's kind of scary. Did this stream turn radio? Interesting. What does that mean? Turn radio. Australia does have some pretty awful internet. I will admit that. Plague's really nice because it turns off the empty lines. I'm gonna fetch and I'm gonna get a Scrubland. Maybe I'll get a Bayou. Maybe I want the extra green source for Scavenging Ooze. Stream is fine, thank you. No planes, there we go, yeah. Definitely want to try to keep that off, just in case. Actually, do I want a Green Suns for Dryad Arbor here? I don't think I do. So the one reason I might want a Green Suns for Dryad Arbor is that it makes Scooze a lot better, but it does mean we can't go get Collector Ouphe, which maybe isn't an issue. I guess we can't Green Suns here anyway because of Thalia, but maybe that was something I wanted to do pre-Thalia. Yeah. Preordain, okay. So they kept top. So they drew one. So they know the top one, and they probably want to draw it. So we'll see if they bottom or top the other one. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know some guys online have been having issues with it. They're playing LED out. Okay. Interesting. Well, that definitely makes me want to draw a card and then maybe just hit the LED with the Gaea. Ooh, close. What does that mean? Maybe that means I want to play the Scooze. Maybe they're going for a Past in Flames line. Get Sylvan Safekeeper and Noble. Sylvan Safekeeper is pretty cool as well. Yeah, that's an interesting line. It does give us protection, which is nice, and then also the added advantage of going off the following turn. Yeah, Green Suns does cost 3. But I can get Safekeeper. Yeah, killing LED is really nice, but right now it's sadly not an option. Scooze Hold Up is also an option, but I think that's probably the worst option of them all. Yeah, we can't kill LED right now, unfortunately. Alright. Just make sure we didn't take it out. No. Cool. Safekeeper. Safekeeper is really nice as well, because maybe my opponent put in a plan that, you know, oh, they could cast Mum next turn, but it's still going to be offline during my turn. So Safekeeper just being able to be used instantly is so good. It's a real headache. We did get a win last week as well, because our opponent just didn't do math around us having Sylvan Safekeeper and just sacking all our lands to Knight and attacking with Knight, which is pretty cool. I do this a lot on stream, and I shouldn't. Just playing with a little goatee. It's better things to do. I go straight back to it as well. Ah, classic. Land. Okay. You look lost without the ability to play the goatee. Yeah, it's rough. I feel like Phil does this a lot, and I do these ones. It's tough. Land. Hiya! Collect. Okay, still pretty good. So let's go for attacks, and then probably just go Noble Hierarch, Collector Ouphe. Ouphe on the stack. Till we see a response. Play Noble Hierarch. I wonder if they try to like maybe bounce this turn, then untap and like bounce something else. This Chain of Vapor, okay. I think I'm happy just to sack this, to be fair. So let's go this and sack the Canopy. I might want double black. Jack, we have Dryad Arbor. Come on, that's like pinnacle creature you can fetch for. Plays Misty. 3 cards left. If this is just like a hard cast Massacre, I will concede. Definitely feels like it. Black. Oh no. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Search your library for a card. Put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Safekeeper's been really strong. Land. Come on. Wasteland. Nice. I think playing Gaea here is just better than anything else. Yeah, Wasteland C is interesting. There's no other way to really do anything. Maybe I can ask. I mean, we're definitely attacking first. That doesn't change anything. Attack for 5. Wasteland Underground Sea Keep Up Ooze is better. Yeah, that's fair enough. I do like that as well. I guess I have a little bit of a... I kind of want to keep my opponent off this, like, in case it's Pyroclasm or something. See if they... Classic. Okay, yeah, let's go for Scooze. Which is nice, because it does live through both Pyroclasm and Massacre. Hit an Underground Sea, takes him off double black for Massacre. Just. Till Jack's high. Oh. Good games. Matt Sully, you got the face. Very cool. Nice. Well, yeah, that was a nice one to win. Obviously, I think our deck just played really well. I mean, we had like a really nice hand. We had acceleration into a turn 2 Thalia, which is great. We then found protection for Thalia and another hate piece, which you really need to do. You need to establish a wide board of hate against a lot of fast combo decks. So that was pretty sweet. I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be back in a second. I'll update this current score. I'll be 1 second. See you guys soon. Always time for beers on a Friday night. Let's be honest. Oh. Alright. Down against Snowko. Up against Ant. Not too bad. 2 beers? No, I have a beer and a water. I'm being what they called responsible. Trying to be, so. Oh. All right. Match 3 on the play against Nathan Lopez. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Yeah, pretty good hand. Scryb Ranger really makes it as well, which is nice. I think here I want to drop the Ooze. Yeah, I'm going to keep this in bottom of the Ooze. I think Ooze is just, it's quite nice as a threat, but I think I'd rather have it as a bullet in the deck than in my opening hand. Turn 2, we can play Scryb Ranger and Thalia, which is pretty sweet. Scryb Ranger always makes more mana than I expect. Yeah, it's pretty nuts when you also have a Cradle. Because if this hand had Cradle, I could keep the Ooze and play it turn 2 as well. Because you can turn 1 Noble Hierarch, Savannah. Turn 2, you can return this. You can play Scryb Ranger. Return Savannah. Untap the Noble. Play Cradle. Oh, you can play Screws and eat something. Because Cradle taps for 2, then you have an extra mana from Noble Hierarch. Crazy. I guess you could also Green Suns for 2 if you wanted. Alright. We are away. Flooded Strand. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. Okay. Probably taking the Thalia if they're gonna be this deck. Scryb Ranger. Interesting. Well then. What do I want to do here? I think it's just... If they have days, I don't really want them to be able to daze the land back. But maybe that's okay. If I'm okay with that, I can go Thalia and Mum, because I can use the Wasteland for Thalia. Which I think I'm okay with. Yeah. It's tough, but... At least Plague Engineer can't come down this turn. It could, but I don't think it will. Flooded Strand. At least if they swords the Thalia, it's not too bad. Oh, Cephalid. Interesting. Yikes. Ah, interesting. So with Scryb Ranger, I can actually just target Cephalid, call it Cephalid a bunch, and kill them, which is pretty hilarious. I'm assuming it's because I can target this and mill them with Scryb Ranger. Only once, but okay. Only once. Yeah, interesting start. I'm definitely playing Dryad Arbor. And I think I'm just keeping the Green Suns for Ooze, but I still want to Wasteland my opponent. I think I'm happy going after their mana. Taking them off 2 colors as well is pretty huge. So this is fine, because they can't Dread Return yet. But getting pretty close. I think it's like Cradle or Bust for me. Sylvan Library. Do I have to give Pro? I think I have to give Pro. The next 1 damage that will be dealt to. So can they do this twice? To stop Thalia? I don't have to give Pro? Oh, you control instead. Okay. Okay, gotcha. All good. I thought it was to any creature, which would just be absurd. Alright. This is tough. If I do nothing, they can just go off because they can just target a bunch and then Dread Return they can pay for. But I don't think I can just not hold up anything. I think I have to go for Sylvan Library. Actually, how does yeah. I guess for some reason if they don't go off, yeah, I assume that it's win next turn unless they have Oracle in hand. Teferi's pretty cool. Brazen Burrower. One Narcomoeba. Yeah, that's very true, Matsol. There's Oracle. There's Dread Return. Rough. So Surgical's pretty good here. Deafening Silence is interesting. I don't think it's worth it. Force is interesting because they usually play Aether Vial and also the equipment. Surgical seems great. Soul Guide Lantern seems okay. Engineer doesn't seem too bad, seeing that they have 1/1s, so I might even bring in an extra one, especially because they usually turn around to a True Name deck after. Kai is interesting. Vraska's pretty interesting. Shifting Ceratop seems okay. I think Questing Beast is just a bit better, because it can't be blocked by much. Renegade's nice. Prelate's interesting. Scooze is good. Collector Ouphe is still pretty good. They are playing black. Yeah, Prelate's interesting. Dread Return is 4 to cast. 3 is pretty good because it hits... I guess it's not that good. It hits Teferi. That's about it. 1 hits Brainstorm, Ponder, Swords. It also hits our swords. Might even be an Artisan. There's not really one creature that I want. I could even see Thalia going down. Doesn't really interact with their combo too much, and then maybe just a Mana Dork on the play. Hey Donut, welcome. Currently 1-1, and now we're playing against Cephalid Breakfast, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't mind Fiend as a one-of. See how this goes, and if there is a game 3, we can come back and sideboard a little bit more. Haha, Cephalid Breakfast. I'm sure the combo might come up, so we'll show you. Unfortunately, this hand has no mana. Pretty great otherwise, but can't keep that. This is pretty good. I'll keep this. I think I'll just bottom the Safekeeper. But it's interesting. So so we got a soldier and a wizard. Illusion, human, soldier, okay. True names, Mythic Rogue, yeah. So I'm gonna keep this, and I'm gonna bottom. I think it's the Safekeeper. I can at least find it with the Green Suns if I really want to. Oh, Nomad is Core Soldier? Okay. Guess that means we can turn off Zone Forward from attacking with a Jide, which is nice. I guess this hand is a little bit light on our white mana, so if this birds gets swords, then it's a little bit rough. I think I'm happy just to Thalia next turn, depending on what their turn 1 is, because they could Thoughtseize. They've also gone down to 6 as well. This will be interesting. I don't think Cephalid gets any new cards. I guess Thassa's Oracle was its new card. Hey Matsol, what have you been playing on MTGO? Oh, interesting. Okay, there we go. I've been playing MTGO. Haha, nice. Okay, okay. I see how it is. I see how it is. Brainstorm. Okay. Maybe trying to find fours? Do we have any new cards from Maverick playability from C21? There's some interesting cards. There's some interesting meta cards. Fours, okay. Like the 1 mana instant for green. I think it's like target opponent sacrifices a flying creature, which is similar to Clip Wings, which has seen some play, but it's rough to see when that is, say, better than just like a Path to Exile. If Sneak and Show is a big thing, then it seems pretty good because it also deals with Emrakul. Wasteland's pretty nice. We could also just go for Knight, and I don't mind Knight. Oh, I got a cool one. Let's go for Savannah. Let's go for Green Suns. This is going to be cool. I don't think my opponent's going to see this coming. Let's go for Renegade Rallier. The fetch left, so let's get back Thalia. Boom. How's your force now? Nice. Cool card. Eliminate looks like it could be playable in Green White Black Mav. Yeah, Eliminate's pretty interesting. It does seem a lot better. Oh, is this just game? Really? Yeah. Rough. I guess I should have Wastelanded. Pretty... Oh, they're just going to pass. Oh, they can't do it, of course. Oh, we can Blast Zone for 1. That's pretty good. Blast Zone for 1. Kind of just have to do it here, right? And then... Oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunately. So I guess we just lose anyway, unfortunately, because we can attack for 5, but then... Yeah. Maybe I should have played the Engineer out earlier. Maybe it was a case of just playing the Engineer and then maybe going for Safekeeper with the Green Suns to keep it alive. Rough. Yeah, just too slow. I guess we'll see what happens. We might as well. What a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. 100%. I thought getting back Thalia was great, but obviously not. Sad times. Hey, Andrew. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Let me know where you're from. If you play Maverick in paper, if you play Legacy in paper. Can attack. Yeah, he had force for the... They had force for the first. I didn't even play Wasteland. I should have played Wasteland, 100%. I guess now they can just Dread Return me. And there's no way to take them off double blue for Thassa's Oracle either. I guess, yeah, I guess I should have played it because, like, yeah, Dread Return only costs 1. That's fair. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, Dare to be a Donut. So the combo is Cephalid Illusionist. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you can mill your deck for 3 cards. And then you have this little guy that allows you for 0 to target a creature, or do anything, really just target it, which is cool. So you can use Nomads to target Cephalid to flip your deck, trigger some Narcomoebas, use Dread Return to get back Thassa's Oracle, trigger that, and win because you have no cards left. Bada bing, bada boom. Very nice. Not for us, unfortunately, but can't have it all, which is fine. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet deck. It's been around for a while. It didn't see play for a few years, but Thassa's Oracle definitely gave it a new avenue of winning, which is cool. Andrew's from the United States. I used to play Legacy a long time ago and recently played Zoo, but I never bought Green White Maverick over the quarantine and paper. Oh, you recently bought it. That's cool. Very nice. There's been some pretty cool lists for Zoo as well, doing pretty well. I know it 5 Wonder Challenge. It's done a few 5-0s. It won a pretty big tournament in Japan at the start of the year and then came top 8 in another. But Green White is pretty cool and a good place to start with Maverick as well. Obviously, I think one of the most consistent versions of the deck. Yes, Lazy, very nice. You can also use Shuka's 0 equip ability to target the Cephalid to do it again, which is pretty cool. But I believe the old win con was like a Labman combo with the Angel of Glory Rise, perhaps? If I have that correct. Up against Suzuki. I'd love to play first. This hand's pretty good. Turn 2 Thalia. I could turn 2 Prelate if I wish. I have some interaction in Wasteland and Blaststone, so I'm going to keep this. I think I'm just going to go for a Savannah as well. Don't really care about Blood Moon. Angel of Glory Rise with Labman and the Wizard EDH card that taps a wizard and draws a card. You tap Labmaniac and draw. There we go. Ah, interesting. Okay, I never knew about the deck before that, so that's very cool. Let's look at this. Enter card this. Serrated Ghoul. As it enters the battlefield, exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. It gains power equal to the toughness. Interesting, of the exiled cards. That's pretty cool. Nuts. Okay. Apologies. Let's go. I'm going to keep this Windswept Heath around just in case we do want a basic. It gets both forest and plains. So Verdant into Savannah into Bird. Not the greatest hand against some of the fair creature decks, but I don't mind it. Misty Pass. Wow, okay. I could play around Spell Snare if I really wanted to by playing the Prelate, but I think it's best just to go probably Fetch Land into Thalia. I don't want to show the Wasteland yet. I'd rather my opponent go for a duel. Skylasher is a card that I have wanted to try, but it's never felt as powerful to me as it could be, or as another card could be in the deck. But it does go through a lot of cards, which is nice. It could be a solid metagame choice if you know about it in your local metagame. But unfortunately, I just feel that even if you have it for a Delver, they're most likely going to have a Bolt or some sort of removal, which is pretty rough because it is a cool card. I know it was printed in Standard just as Delver left, which is pretty funny. Okay. Trop. So first intentions are this is Rug Delver, but see what happens. Another Misty, and looks like just a fetch. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Attack first. I think there is a green Stompy deck with Chalice, Trinisphere, Ancient Tombs, maybe Mox Diamonds, and then just like uncounterable cards. Machias the Lunar Monarch. I'm not sure what that does. Let me have a quick look at what it is. Ah, the white card. Interesting. I was looking at the elf, that when it comes in, you get a bunch of pretty cool effects. I think it was Renegade something, and it's a creature that is legendary, and when it comes into play, you get some stuff. You can put a +1/+1 counter on 2 creatures you control. Oh, okay. I'm going to choose 1. And then I'm going to wasteland this trop. Rishkar. Yeah, Rishkar is cool because it is also legendary, so you can actually bring it back as well and cast it again, which is kind of cool. In green-white, I think you could run a Gavany Township if the games do go long. But the issue is that right now there's not a lot of matchups where Gavany is great. That doesn't also hit you pretty hard if you try to go wide on the board. So things like Snow have Dead of Winter, there's Toxic Deluge, there's like Terminus Supreme Verdict. Not so much Terminus Supreme Verdict, but I can definitely see it coming back. So this is interesting. It's just a blue deck. I think Ramanap's going to be great. I think Shifting Ceratops will be great. I think Vraska will be great. I'm going to assume it's Rug Delver for this. So I think that Safekeeper just isn't where we can be, although it's kind of nice with Ramanap. I think Mum's just a little bit better. Qasali can most likely come out. And then it's probably Collector Ouphe. It's probably these 3. I don't mind this. Soulguide Lantern is interesting as well. But I think with Skoos and Little Kaya, we have some pretty good hits. So I'm just going to keep it like this. Another Plague Engineer could be interesting. Maybe it's better than second Thalia on the draw. But... Soul Guide is interesting. I don't think it's where I want to be though. I'm going to assume this is Rug Delver, which can really hurt us if they're on a Wasteland plan. So I'm not sure if we have the ability to use Safekeeper as aggressively as I'd like. I think Mum's just a little bit better because you don't have to sacrifice the resource of lands, which what I find in a matchup with Rug Delver is pretty tight. You definitely have to make sure you have enough mana because you can just get wastelanded out of the game. And I think if Safekeeper's doing that, it's pretty rough, especially in the early game where there aren't too many big creatures that we actually want to protect too quickly. It might actually be something like Cradle, because we don't usually go too wide against Rug Delver. They usually have a lot of 1-for-1 soft permission. I could see another Kaya. And then maybe it is just Thalia. It is still just a 2-drop and it does really disrupt them. I'm going to assume the Trop also gave away that they're on Rug. It'll be interesting to see what they're actually on. This hand is pretty sweet. I'm going to keep this. Double Mum is really good. But what we don't have a current answer to is Dreadhorde Iconist, which can be pretty tough. I guess we can Green Suns for Ooze. Windswept. Interesting. Windswept can't get Volk. So maybe this is just going to be a snow deck. Noble. Interesting. Maybe this is Infect. Huh. Could just be like a... Now I'm unsure. Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess I wouldn't count Cradle as a land in my deck. I would count it as a spell, a little bit like Dark Depths. Just because by itself it doesn't produce mana, so it shouldn't be it shouldn't be taken down as a mana producing card. It is Infect. Okay, well we brought in some stuff. We definitely should have left in, I guess, Deafening Silence is actually perfect against this deck. And also Force of Vigor is pretty good. Noble. I guess it's Fiend here. We have to go for... we have to try to find... Plague Engineer really fast. Because that's our only real out. So we can play this, and then next turn we can tap for 3, but we have to sack... Yeah, that's tough. Scale Up is probably the newest card that Infect has got. Scale Up's pretty good. Pretty much a 2-card combo with any other pump spell. I think it's just Thalia, just to try to tax them a little bit. I don't mind attacking. If they want to use a pump spell on their turn, that's fine. They can't crop for Pendelhaven, which is great. Oh, Veil of Summer, yeah, that's very true. 3 cards left. No blocks. Well, can't really block. Verdant. Don't care about the life loss. I think it's just Noble Fiend Hunter here. But I could also just hold this up to try to draw into a removal spell next turn. And I think that's better, to act like we have Swords to Plowshares. I think that's better than playing Fiend Hunter. Because the Fiend Hunter next turn doesn't even get Plague Engineer. Actually, it does. Huh. So I think it's probably better then. Because next turn we can Fiend Hunter for 4. Which means we can go and get Plague Engineer. So I think that's better than trying to bluff that we have removal. Yeah. At least it puts us in an opportunity to win the game and not just try not to lose. Yeah, it's pretty nice because if we do get a turn, I'm going to assume we don't. But if we get a turn, we get to Plague Engineer on human, which destroys both the Plague Engineer, the Blooded Agent, and the Noble Hierarch, which is pretty huge. Ooh, surely. Oh, nothing? Okay. Wow. 4 cards left? Alright. I guess they could still have crop rotation. So maybe I want to play the bird to save me from crop into Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah. Fiend Artisan is pretty sweet, yeah. So we can play bird, play Verdant. Let's fetch. Let's just go for a Bayou. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna sack. We're gonna pay the 4, which is 3 next. We're gonna sack the Noble Hierarch. Nice. Okay. Fiend Artisan showing its power here. Let's go and get Plague Engineer. Let's name human. They can't even respond to it, so these gonna die. And yeah, they're just gonna concede. So. Yeah, Fiend Hunter there, or Fiend Artisan, sorry, doing a heap of good, which is nice as well because I mean we did have the plan to try to just keep up Canopy and Scrubland to either draw a card or show that we have some sort of interaction. But yeah, playing the Fiend Artisan and then going to get Plague Engineer to destroy these 2 creatures is pretty good. All right, well we get to play for the 3/2, which is kind of nice. Pretty sweet. Yeah, Fiend Artisan is pretty cool. Yeah, we haven't seen it too much. And there aren't... I guess the more that I play it, the more I'll figure out when you actually want to Green Suns for it. But yeah, Infect can be pretty rough. I mean, I think a lot of the interaction you do is on your turn, just to make them use their pump spells in your turn, or, you know, you don't want to be swordsing your opponent's creature in their turn when they have something up. It does get big, but a lot of the time, I think by the stage it's a big creature, I usually have a bigger creature like Knight. But yeah, I think it's text that you kind of miss sometimes, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Matsol, I'm with you. Hopefully. That would be very cool. But yeah, I guess like Sylvan Plug, it would be cool to find a deck that plays just like 4 Ceratops, 4 Trinisphere. Once Upon a Time in Maverick is pretty strong. I know that a lot of the green-white players like it. I'm not a big fan of it in the 3-color decks or 4-color decks, but I think in green-white it's pretty sweet. I really like it with, against some of like the graveyard decks, you can go and find Ferromacabre, which is pretty sweet. Especially against like Reanimator, because it plays a little bit around any sort of like Chalice effects. I guess it doesn't play around Chancellor, but yeah, Once Upon a Time is interesting because Maverick is a deck that has a lot of strong lands and creatures, so both parts of Once Upon a Time does benefit the deck. But I guess unlike something like Green-Black Depths, you're not looking for one piece. It's not like a combo deck where you want to use it to try to tutor up the one piece that you're missing. But at the same time, I think it gives Maverick a lot more consistency, and it allows you just to have some better draws in the late game. Just to make sure you're not like drawing into Forest. You can draw into a Knight. All right. No way. Samurai is actually a very good Maverick player who recently did some work with me on an article I'm doing on Gadokteeg. But Samurai's got a very interesting list. Samurai has been playing a green-white-black Maverick list with Eldumri's Call, which is very cool. It could be the Mirror, which is going to be interesting. There's a few cards in this list that aren't that great in the Mirror, like Collector Ouphe, of course Thalia's, but we do have some pretty interesting cards like Gaea, which is pretty nice at keeping their Knight small. But I also know that Samurai, I think, bounces around a little bit. So we'll see what they're on. But I think I'll keep I won't keep a hand just because it's great against Maverick. Like this hand is interesting, but it's really a one-lander without the mum. I don't think this is a keep. I think I'd rather go to a 6. I'm not going to keep this against most decks, so it's interesting, but because we do get a draw step. The more I look at it, the more I want to keep it. Turn 1 Karakas, mum. Turn 2 Cradle, mum, Fiend Artisan. Okay, interesting. And then Cradle with Fiend Artisan is pretty strong. It seems alright. It's a nice hand, but the issue is that Mum has such a big like sniper on its head that I assume Mum's not going to survive, so the Cradle's going to be turned off in my turn. I don't think I'm going to keep this. I think it's a little bit too risky. But it is an interesting hand to think about. Okay. That is fine. So I'm not going to think about this. There is no mana. Pretty cool hand, but good curve. Maybe the first hand was okay. It would have been interesting to play with, and maybe that's why I should have kept it, just to see how keeping a hand like that does progress throughout the game. Mulligan this. We'll keep this. I'm gonna bottom the Thalia. Rallier is pretty nice because it gets us back a land, which kind of brings us back up a card. Is it wrong for me to go for drop the Windswept Heath? Yeah, the first hand was interesting. I think it's the Windswept Heath. I think we have a pretty high chance of drawing a land, but maybe it is just the Renegade Rallier and keep this for later on. We do need to trigger, yeah, the Rallier, so if we draw, I think it is Rallier here. I want to make sure that my mana is set. If I start missing land drops as well, that's probably even worse for me. Opponent's on 6, okay. So we're going to start out with the same amount of mana. Windswept Heath, alright, it's looking to be. The old 3-2 have to beat the deck that you play. Birds, okay. Alright. Opponent down to 4 cards, so there's an interesting decision if I want to go for Mum here over Hierarch, but I think just because the amount of 3-drops in the deck is so high, and the ability to go turn 2 Mum into Scooze off Hierarch is pretty high, so I'm going to do that. I think I'm okay just to get a basic forest as well. Not really striving for mana yet. Scrub. Knight. Okay. Oh, Plague. Interesting. I don't mind hitting the bird. Yeah, Hexdrinker is pretty strong. I guess Blaststone has given us a nice out to it, but Hexdrinker is really good. Could also go for Scryb Ranger this turn, which allows me to play the Mum as well. That's pretty interesting. And it allows me to save the Bayou as well. I don't mind that. Bayou, Green Suns, Scryb Ranger, untap Noble, return the Bayou, float a white, play the Mum. But yeah, Hexdrinker I've been a pretty big fan of. I've taken it out a few times, but it's usually pretty good to say the least. This could even be a Blast Zone. Like a Blast Zone here isn't too bad for my opponent losing just the bird. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Noble. I wonder if I just cast Noble here and hold up the Bayou so I can definitely cast a Playing Engineer the following turn instead of just tapping out for Ooze, which doesn't do a whole lot. My opponent has 2 cards left. Yeah, Blast Zone was really strong, and then have the swords as well was really nice. Yeah, I don't mind Hierarch into Plague Engineer. I'm just going to hold the Bayou. Fiend. Okay. It's going to pass with Night Up. Interesting. Swords. Well, Swords is pretty good. Probably changes things. Swords of the Night and then play the Skoos? I guess I can see what they get off the Night. I don't believe they play Step, so I'm happy just to Swords here. Dryad Arbor. Okay. Three cards left for my opponent. 2 cards left for my opponent. Ah! Interesting. X equals 1. Well, this Plague Engineer is definitely naming human, so I'm happy to see that. Noble. Ah, Decay! Rough. Come on. Sylvan Library's really good. Library into Noble Hierarch? Yes, please. Surely not another Decay. That'd be rough. This is interesting. It's taking a long time to pay the costs. What are they doing? What is that spell? Green Suns for 1. Okay. Maybe attack for 5? Okay. Interesting. I could block here if I really wanted to make use of... Maybe it actually is worth... This pretty much is block and draw a card. Which I don't mind. I think everything else we can cast anyway. So I'm pretty happy just to block here. Maybe if something like a Plague Engineer comes down on their turn, then I don't get this chance again. I think this is fine. I think I'd rather draw an extra card than that. Wasteland Prelate. Huh. We're definitely paying for these. Happy to take my opponent off black, and also makes the Fiend Artisan just a little bit worse as well. Prelate is a little bit rough because I'm not too sure what I want to name. Sylvan Library themselves. Oof. Big oof. Especially at 24 life. Do I have to block here? I kind of do. The Ouphe isn't doing anything else anyway. Gives us an extra draw as well, which is kind of nice. Cradle. Thalia. Ah! Just not working out. Hey, Nathan. Yeah, you did. Very cool. Yeah, deck seems sweet. There wasn't too much I could do, unfortunately. But yeah, interesting games nevertheless. I think I just have to pay to dig deeper. I think Thalia is just best here. The issue is that I haven't hit any removal yet, so I'm not sure if I want to name... I guess we've hit 1 swords. If I name 1, it turns off their swords, but it turns off ours. Should have thought Thalia. Yeah, we're wondering why you took the Scrubland. We weren't sure if it was because of the interaction between Scryb Ranger and Cephalid, but sadly it didn't do much either way. Actually, yeah, how much do you, against Maverick, how much would you say you side out of the combo and go into like this Stoneforge True Name kind of plan? I think I have to do Thalia because if I tap out, if I tap Hierarch for the Prelate for the second white, then I just lose anyway. If they have 1 piece of removal, I don't have 2 blockers for the 5 power Fiend Artisan. But Samurai here just able to take 8 with no real worries. At 24 life. Only taking 1, okay. Maybe it only takes 1. I mean, like Plague Engineer here would be pretty good. Another Fiend Artisan, okay. Yes, this is looking pretty rough. We have to block. No backup plan? Okay. Now it's tough. We don't even have another Plague Engineer in the deck. Yeah, I can't even pay for both of these. That's pretty rough. Oh, nice. That's awesome to hear. So let's go with Thalia out, Prelate out, Collector Ouphe out. Kai is pretty sweet. Plague Engineer is pretty sweet. Vraska, Ramanap, Shift. I don't mind Soul Guide. There's probably a better card. Everything else is actually pretty good. Could go down a land, but I think that's a little bit rough. Maybe the second Kaya isn't needed. Although it is, actually, second Kaya is just so good, especially on the play. If I can find it and take out like their turn 1 Mum or turn 1 Mana Dork, it's really nice. Nathan, what do you think Cephalid has a rough matchup against? It might just be a Hierarch, to be fair. Decay decks are hard to beat. Yeah, that's fair enough. Decay plus Force of Will, yeah. Maybe it's the shifting that I don't want. It is a great body, but I think the rest of the deck is pretty good already. See how this slides. We did just play against Breakfast and we lost, but we're currently playing the Mirror against Samurai. I believe they're also just on the Black Splash, no other colors, which is pretty cool. Alright, we will play first. This hand is sweet. Yeah. This hand is okay. I thought we had a Birds of Paradise. We had the Kaya coming. I don't mind this. I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to go turn 1 Windswept Heath. And then if they play a 1-drop, we can Swords it. And then if not, we can just go for Scrub Ranger turn 2. And then Ramanap turn 3. Green Suns. Interesting. I wonder if I even want to hit this. I think I do. It is part of our plan. Savannah. Swords. Bayou. That's pretty perfect. I don't want to play the Soul Guide because I want to hold up the Scryb Ranger. See if our opponent goes... Okay. Ooze. Okay. Just gonna cast this now. Knight. Knight's pretty good. Gaea tick up is interesting as well. I think I'd rather get my knight online first before theirs. Blast Zone, okay. Trophy. Alright, we'll go searching. Attack for 2. Alright. Not really what I want. Huh. I don't mind here. We can play Soul Guide Lantern, and then I'm going to actually exile my own knight so the Skoos can't grow. And then just play this Gaea. And exile their Verdant and their Assassin's Trophy. Hey, your health matters. Welcome. Hope you're well. Currently playing against the Mirror. Down a game, but Games 2 is shaping up to be a pretty cool one. I'm going to untap, return the Bayou, and then play the Bayou. Now I can cycle this Soul Guide Lantern. Pretty different. Samurai is pretty well known for playing some different cards, which is pretty cool. So things like Eldumri's Call, which is pretty interesting. Library's pretty good. Fiend Artisan's pretty good. Alright. Draw a card. Just 3 lands in a row, which is a little bit rough. The Kai has actually been pretty terrible as well, because we obviously can't interact with any of the cards they've cast so far. I don't mind hitting the Blast Zone. I guess they're tapped out, so we can play Ramanap. Get back the Windswept Teeth. Maybe a little bit better than the... I guess hitting the Canopy is also interesting. It's an extra card they can't draw. I guess you can't really go past the free card. Might as well exile these. They're no use to me. I didn't have to, but... Yeah, Fiend is pretty sweet. I think in the mirror it's going to really shine. Especially with Fiend Artisan, you can look at library, maybe take one card, don't pay for the others, and then just get a free shuffle off it as well. No attacks. Okay. Wonder if I just want to get Dryad Arbor here. Just get it out of the deck. Alright. Here we go. Something good. Something good. But... I kind of have to play the Wasteland because it looks like they're trying to tick up the Blast Zone. To be fair, because we are wastelanding the Blast Zone, we should have wastelanded it first and then just exiled it to Gaea instead of exiling nothing. Yeah, he did eat the waste, but I think that's okay. We did get the one time off it. I think Vraska is probably my best draw. It's just a little bit of a 2-for-1. No, it's pretty good. Still nothing. Decay. What does Decay go after, though? I think Decay just has to go after Knight, but it's interesting. The Kai is kind of keeping the Knight at bay, and also the Dryad Arbor Scavenging Scryb Ranger mix. Wish we somehow had 2 more Decays. Yeah, I do as well. Hitting the Skoos is interesting. It's not doing too much here, but it can run away with the game pretty quickly. The Fiend Artisan is kind of rough. Yeah, the Library and the Fiend Artisan are really strong. I think it might just be the Fiend Artisan. I don't think I'm going to play another league, just because it is pretty late, but I will be back on Sunday. Currently Friday night here in Australia. Yeah, both Fiend and Knight can shuffle, which is pretty rough. I think it's the Ooze. Just because then I can keep Ramanap going with Dryad Arbor and Scrub Ranger. But it's interesting. Ah, Library as well. I didn't even think about Library. stupid. Blast Zone and probably Canopy. Gaea is getting pretty close to lethal, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I think Sylvan Library was definitely the correct hit there. Just because then drawing into Swords to Plowshares is something that we can deal with creatures still, but we can't deal with the Sylvan Library. He did take 4. Another Scooze. Yeah, that's terrible for me. Probably even get like Questing Beast here. Just 2 floating. Interesting. Safekeeper's pretty good. Eat Mum. Okay. This is the last match, yeah. Unfortunately. Alright. No attacks. 1 green up. Beast. Interesting. Oh, wait. Is Gaea just lethal here? Classic. I didn't deserve to win that game. I did not deserve to win that game. Looking at how my side... Yeah, I think my opponent... I think I'm okay with everything we have. I don't really want to change anything. Classic. Didn't even see it. Didn't even see it. Yeah, I'm just gonna run this back. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Didn't even need the Questing Beast. Gaea OP. Gaea's pretty good. This hand is pretty good. I'm going to keep this. A lot of removal, which is nice. So I can kind of keep them at bay and then play either the Knight or Gaea as just a really nice threat. Alright. Mum. Interesting. I don't mind Mum here. And then Swords or Decay down the line. The issue, yeah. So the issue is if I go for a basic here, it plays around Wasteland, which is nice and what I kind of want to do. But it doesn't allow me to go turn 2 Decay. But I think that's okay. I guess getting Savannah isn't the worst. Yeah. This is fine. Screws. Okay. Swords. Okay. Right. Pretty happy just to keep up the decay here. No Wasteland's nice. Attack. I'm going to take this and see if they play a more threatening creature next turn. Okay, that's more threatening. Two-drop would be sweet here. Wasteland. I kind of want to Swords the Scavenging Ooze. Could also play the Knight. Maybe Knight's just better. I don't want to tick down once on Gaea and then just lose it. This could be Swords, it could also just be Eat with Ooze, which I think it is just Eat with Ooze. Yeah, okay. Ghost Quarter. Interesting. Decay, that's fine. Eat. One card left. So now we get to untap, play Gaea, and also Swords. Yeah, pretty sweet start so far. We're down to 11 as well, which is pretty rough. Alright. Soul Guide. Let's play Wasteland. Black, white. Gaea. Exile this. Interesting they're eating the Heath and not just floating mana and eating their own Noble. I'm going to pass with Swords Up, because if they have something like Questing Beast, I'd probably rather hit that. But we'll see what happens. Okay, well this is actually really nice, because now we get to Gaea the Mum as well. Unless they have Decay or Trophy for the Gaea. Yeah, Gaea the Mum is really nice. So next time we get to go Soul Guide and Knight. We could also Wasteland. So we're going to Wasteland this. That's fine. I'm going to go get a Snow-Covered Forest. Blast Zone. Alright, tick down on Mum. Play Soul Guide. Exile one of their lands. Ghost Quarter. Play another Knight. And I think I'm okay just holding this. I'm going to play this because I can cycle it into a new card next turn. Hey, Drew. Yeah, Gaea's been really strong. I mean, it's already dealt with two permanents, which is pretty sweet. Plague. Plague's okay. Ooze has been really nice. I actually really like how Samurai is playing 2 Ooze. I think that's really good right now, especially in a pretty grindy meta. Mum's pretty good. They have named Human with playing Engineer. Windswept. Exile these two. I wonder if I want to take them off white, and I think I kind of do. I can play this Windswept Heath, which keeps them off. Okay, so let's go. Let's stick up Blast Zone once, because Gaea can deal with 1-drops. And I don't want to 3 my own Knight. We can now sack the Snow-Covered for a Wasteland. And hit the Savannah. And now we can just pass. This also means that we can fetch out Dryad Arbor and block with that. Noble, okay. Ah, okay. Well, Samurai has conceded, which is kind of nice. We finished 3-2, which is always nice. It's always nice to win the Maverick Mirror, but I think Samurai got a few better draws in the second game, but we got a few better draws in the third. And it definitely comes down to once you have a threat like Gaea that can deal with a Noble Hierarch, then a Mum, and then tick up to deal with some lands to keep your opponent off a big knight, and then deal with another Noble. Pretty nuts, but yeah, I think the Maverick Mirror is very cool, and there's definitely a lot to it. Obviously, a little bit lucky there as well, just drawing like Gaea when I needed it, and not getting Wastelanded from my opponent was pretty huge, because I think if my opponent had a Wasteland there pretty early on, it would have been pretty rough, because we had a bunch of non-basic lands. That is me. So we went 3-2. Any changes? I'm not too sure. I do want to try out some more things for Snow. It's just tough because there's not too many good cards that are just good against Snow. They usually have answers to a lot. Thrun was an interesting card because it can't be Swords to Plowshares and it can't be hit by Double Bolt of Dreadhorde, but it can be blocked by Ice Fang. But Thrun's definitely been intriguing. I do like shifting Ceratops in the sideboard, but we'll see how that goes. I think the issue with Snow is that I want to find more 2-for-1 cards on my end, but it's just so hard to find. Like, Collector Ouphe is a great answer to Astrolabe because you're not spending a card to deal with it. If anything, your opponent is spending a card to deal with Ouphe. So at least, although they're drawing a card off the Astrolabe, they're now spending a card to deal with the Ouphe. And it's a little bit like Plague Engineer on Ice Fang Quietal. They're still replacing Ice Fang with a draw, but they're also having to spend a card to deal with the Plague Engineer, so you're keeping that card parity at kind of the same. Hey Andrew, you're more than fine. All the best with Green White Maverick. Hopefully when restrictions ease, you can go and play it in paper, which would be pretty sweet. Yeah, Revoker is really interesting. Revoker could be there. The really annoying thing is that you can't Fiend Artisan at instant speed, but a Revoker in the sideboard could be very cool. Yeah, there were some people that were talking about Stag. It's from like M12 and it has like pro blue, pro black, can't be countered 3/3, but it's still just a 3/3, which is pretty rough. I guess it does get pumped by Exalted, which is cool, but otherwise it's a little bit meh. I think Snow is just one of those decks you have to just grind with, and hopefully you get a little bit lucky. It's just part of it. Hey Sato, thank you very much. Great Stable Stag, that's it. Great Stable Stag. Great. I can't say it. Great Sable Stag. That's it. So I will be back on Sunday. I'm not sure if I'll change much. I think I might even just try out a green-white build again, which would be pretty interesting. Hey Kat, you're more than welcome. Anytime. Oh, you got a few green-white... I can't even speak right now. You got a few wins as well. Very cool. Yeah, that is me. You can catch me at YouTube/Dukes on Twitch. You have all my recordings there and streams. You can, of course, find me here on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can find me at the Green Suns as well. You can find me on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Twitch, that's great because then you get notifications when I go live, which is very sweet. But you guys are more than welcome. Always a pleasure to stream for you. Hopefully do Maverick justice. It is a very cool deck. It's a really rewarding deck to win with as well, especially when I have chat here. So you guys make it. Enjoy your weekends. Thank you very much to D5AM for the resub. Very, very cool. To those who've also got shirts, a huge thank you. Very cool. If you want to see it, of course, I got it in the mail today. So Green Sun Zenith Legacy Maverick shirt, which is sweet. You can find about that on my Twitter. But yeah, let's see who else is actually playing, and I might send you guys over to someone else. Because usually there's some other Legacy, but I guess we'll see. Frank Carsten is playing. Frank's playing some Magic. Yeah. Magus. Oh, Goblins with Snompy. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's Modern Bud. I hate Modern. There's no Legacy on when I stream, which is really interesting. They definitely should be. Cherryman, Modern, Riley. Alright, it's going to be Riley. It's going to be the other Australian. Alright. This is like the awkward part where I'm still here. You guys are still here. Raid Channel, Reliquary Tower. Alright guys, stay safe. Enjoy your weekends. Thank you very much again. We'll see you on Sunday.